going on? It has been a minute. It has been a minute. I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is out there staying away from the Rona. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? It has been a while since I have been here, but I am back. I am back. Trying to get everything going here in the new space. As you can see now, I actually have a YouTube studio now. So, after my last situation ended, I had to find a place. That took a while. You guys know I always have a story to tell, and this one is no exception. I always have a story to tell. But in this place, I moved into a 2-bedroom townhome. So, with me still being single and no little kids, my daughter, of course, everybody knows my daughter is 25 and married. So I'm still here alone. And so I turned my second bedroom into a YouTube studio, my production studio. So on this side, I have my green screen and my lighting, which I have lights kind of everywhere. So I'm trying to get that, going. And behind the green screen over here, there was a closet, a big walk-in closet that I transformed into a deadened vocal room. Everyone always says, why don't you do like voiceovers? I want to hear you read books. I want to hear you talk. I want to do this. And I said, okay. So I turned that walk-in into a vocal booth so that I can do voiceover work there. Of course, this is where I do my live streams now. I got the banner with the logo on it behind the white couch. So this is where I'll be doing my live streams from. And then over on that side of the room, of course, is my editing station where I get all the editing done and things like that. So, yeah, it's been a lot going on. It's been a lot going on. Judaim, it's good to see you too, my man. Good to see you in chat. Mrs. Bailey, welcome back to you as well. It is good to see you all here. So, as always, let's get everything ready. Let me get on this chat real quick. That's it. So, Judaim says, where can we hear more of your music? I used to do a lot more with music. I'm probably just gonna use it for my channel. So the more music that I make, it's gonna be exclusively for my channel for the most part. I don't really sell it like I used to do that a lot. I used to do a lot of production. I used to sell music, but I really just don't do it anymore. So it's going to be used mostly for my channel at this point. What's up, Brandy Todd? She says, I was an hour early. The car guy says, any tips on sleeping in your car during winter? Yeah. Wear a lot of clothes. That's what I did. When I was sleeping in my car during the wintertime, I would wear long johns. Then I had a pair of shorts on under that. Then I had my jeans on top of that. And then on top of that, I wore my sweatpants. Then I had a t-shirt a hoodie, a sweater, a scarf, and then my coat. And then I would have a stocking cap on. And then I, of course, had 2 blankets. So I had a wool blanket and then a comforter. And then I had a sheet that I put under the seat, and then it would go over my head and over the back of the seat and then all the way around, so that it would keep all that heat in. Because during the coldest part, when I was staying in my car, during the coldest stretch, it was so cold that when I woke up in the morning, the ice would be on the inside of the car because of the heat being in the car and the condensation would all just freeze. So there was ice all around the inside of my car, but I couldn't feel it because I was pretty warm. And then I would have my laptop and I would connect to, like I said, the Lowe's Wi-Fi. So I would be all bundled up and watching something until I fell asleep. So yeah, that's, now if you have a car that you can, run the heat every now and then, that would be great too. But for the most part, I didn't want to keep waking up in the middle of the night trying to turn the heat on. So, and I think that car, it didn't have air. I think the heat worked, but it would take so long because it was so cold. It really wasn't worth it to keep going back and forth to try to turn the heat on. So he says, where will you live in North Dakota? I don't know why people don't think Nashville gets cold. It gets cold in Nashville. And there were a couple of winters where it was literally negative, like -10 at one point. There was snow everywhere. At one point I woke up and the car was covered in snow. I don't know why people think it doesn't get cold in Nashville. It gets cold in Nashville. But yeah, man, bundled up. That was how I got through it. I just bundled up. And then you can get those. Oh, one more thing you can do, the car guy. I would also get those little heat packs from Walmart that you can just kind of like snap, and they get warm, so you can put them, either in your hands or just anywhere on your body, so that you can stay warm. Because every now and then I would do that, but for the most part, wrapping up like that, I didn't have to really worry about more than that. All right. So before we get started, I want to do a shout out to today's sponsor, right? This video, this live stream is sponsored by a good friend of mine who has his own company called Crazy Cups. Now, this brother can make any type of cup or a cup with anything you want on it. Check out some of these cups, man. So you can tell him exactly what you want on the cup, something that's personal to you, and he can put it on the cup. Check that out. Kobe. He got one for the girls that like Alabama. Another Kobe. So yeah, these cups are so cool, and I'll show you the one that I got. Now, you guys may not know, but I am a huge Black Panther fan. Huge Black Panther fan. So when Chadwick Boseman passed away, me and some of my guys were all hanging out at the hookah bar. And I got a text, and I was like, man, what is this? That Chadwick Boseman's dead? And all my guys started looking. I said, that's gotta be a joke. He was like, nah, bro, it's all over everything. So I got this cup. It's the Black Panther. The Black Panther. You can see the Black Panther wording here at the top. You can also see the little picture of the panther, the outline of the panther down at the bottom, and then you can also see the panther on the back of the cup, right? And what I like about these cups, man, they're very solid. You hear that? And they're very good at insulating. One night I was having a Marvel marathon by myself. I had all this ice and juice and chips, and I'm watching all these movies. Well, I got tired and went to sleep. The next day, all the ice was still in the cup. So it also comes with a top too. And another thing I like about these cups, you guys may not know it, but I am a real stickler for being clean. My place is always clean. So another thing I like about these cups is they don't condensate. You don't have to worry about the liquid being all the condensation being all at the bottom of the cup. So check him out. I'm going to put a link to his Facebook and his Instagram in the chat. And then I'll put one also in the description box at the end of the video. But check him out, man. He does good work. He does good work. And again, it's called Crazy Cups. So again, thank you to my friend Roger for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it, brother. Really appreciate it. So, right, that Panther cup is tight, man. The Panther. So, hold on one second. We're gonna take somebody out here. Somebody's getting a little crazy. All right. So, the topic of this video, hold on. Did the stream stop? Let's see what's going on here. Hold on, guys. Think we're good. Hey guys, let me know. Let me know that everyone can see and hear me. I thought I had a little hiccup here in my stream. This is the first time I've streamed here, so I'm trying to make sure I have everything kind of ironed out. So bear with me if things are going a little awry, but if anybody could let me know in the chat, make sure that you guys can still see and hear me. I would appreciate it before we get started, because this story, I'm only going to tell it once. I can't go through this story again. This is going to be a one and done for this story and this show. And again, guys, this is going to be the last time that I do. Thank you, Brandia. And hey, Dana. What's going on, Dana? What's going on, Exclusive? Good to see you. Good to see you. This will be the last time that I'm going to do a JW related topic on this channel. Going forward, all the JW related content will be on my channel called the XJW My Life channel, My XJW Life channel. But I wanted to, since this was my first video back, I wanted to do it on this channel. Someone asked earlier if I was doing well since the accident, and yeah, I am pretty much about 100% healed up. If you don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone who watches this channel knows, but about March or April, I was walking and I was hit by a car while I was walking. I had a concussion, an upper spinal compression fracture, broken ribs on my right side, a lower spinal compression fracture, lacerations all on my right arm. My left leg was all bruised up. So someone asked earlier if I'm healing up, and I am. I was actually able to go back to the gym for the first time. Last week or the week before was my first time actually being able to work out with weight since that happened. So it took me a long time to kind of get back to where I am now, but I am pretty much 100% back to normal at this point. It took about however long it is between March and now. It took about that long to get 100% back, but I am back, and I'm happy. And honestly, after all of that happened, I ended up in a much better position than I was in before it happened. And that's something that we're going to talk about tonight as well. What's up today, forever? Now also, guys, I will probably I may leave this video on this channel, but I probably will transfer it to the XJW My Life channel as well. So I may leave it up for a little bit, but then it's going to go over there. All right. So let me get started before I start rambling all night. So the topic of this discussion is, should you go no contact with JWs? This is something I really dreaded talking about because it's very personal. The story I'm going to tell tonight is very personal. I'm really, you know how I am on my channel, guys. I really tell you guys a lot about my personal life because I feel that it's important because of all the things that we go through in this organization. But this is a little bit more personal, and I'm going to have to go through a lot to get through this story. And of course, you guys know I don't do anything scripted. This is just going to be me talking. But if you stick with me through all of it, if it comes out the way that I hope it comes out, trust me, there is a point. Okay? You guys know how I am about stories now. I tell pretty good stories. And this is definitely a story to tell. Should you go no contact with the JWs? And I'm trying to look into the camera more. I always look away, but I'm going to look into the camera today. So, in order to tell this story, I'm going to have to go back a ways. Now, as I have told you all in previous videos, there was a very long time where I did not speak with my parents, okay? What's going on, Warlock Asylum? A very long time we did not speak, okay? And it was because I walked away from the organization. The last thing that I had said to them at that point, we had met at my ex-wife's house, and my father had asked if I wanted to come to the Kingdom Hall with them. I said, I'm glad that you have found your faith and that it works for you. But that is not my faith, and I will not be there. I will not be going. Okay? So that was the last time I spoke to them for several years. They did not want to speak with me because I was not a part of the organization. Okay? Several years down the line, I started going to a therapist. The therapist asked me, this is kind of backtracking, but it's for a reason. The therapist asked me, do you think you want to try to reach out to your parents? As I told you guys before, my response was, F no, I don't want to talk to them. Okay. So every time I would go to the therapy session, at the end of the therapy session, he would ask me, hey, do you think you might want to reach out to your parents? And it went from me saying F no initially to the second time, I was like, hell no. The third time, I said, I don't know, maybe. Then the next time, I said, it's not, maybe so, yeah, I'll think about it. It's not too bad. So one night I was doing Uber. I dropped a passenger off. I contacted my parents. I called them. That's when I found out that my father had cancer. We reconnected the next day. We talked for about 3 or 4 hours, had a great time. At that point, or the night before, I had spoken with my ex-wife because I no longer had my parents' phone number. She did. I asked her what was my father's phone number. She said, I have to ask him before I give it to you. I said, is their home phone the same? She said, yes. Before I called them, she said, she started backtracking or retracking our relationship and was wondering why things didn't work out, and it was telling me that she hadn't been with anyone since we broke up, and that that she thought we were still soulmates. And I said, I don't want to have this conversation. I can't have this conversation. I can't do that. I can't talk about that. I'm trying to reconnect with my family. Okay. So after me and my parents reconnected, things were going well. My ex-wife asked me how our meeting went. I told her how everything went. I even did a YouTube video where I talked about reuniting with my parents. It's a great time. Right? So after we reconnected, I literally thought that things were going to be different. Well, after I sent my ex-wife the link to the YouTube video I did explaining how well my reuniting with my parents went, she sent that link, well, not that link, she sent my YouTube channel to my parents, because instead of only watching that video, she went through my YouTube channel and watched all of my XJW content. At that time, she sent that to my parents. This is right after we had reconnected. And so after that, my parents stopped speaking to me again. Okay? Because according to my ex-wife, well, we'll pause there. My parents stopped speaking to me again, right? Now we're coming up to present day. We all know the pandemic happened, and I, as I've told you guys in a previous stream, have started another business. And I'm telling you guys this because it's pertinent to the story. It's not me flossing or flexing or bragging. It's very pertinent to the story. So bear with me. Okay? Now, I've started another business. Things are going very well. As a result of me starting this business and as a result of the work I did last year, I have found myself in a much better financial situation. Okay? A much better financial situation. Okay. Put simply, I've increased my worth by quite a bit. Okay. Now, trust me, I know this may sound like I'm rambling, but I'm not. It is for a purpose. This is purposeful talk. So, as I increased my financial situation, there were things that I wanted to do. The first thing I wanted to do, now, even though my daughter was 25 and married, and she lives in another state, shout out to you, Lex. Hope everything's going well. But as a result of the way our divorce happened, I had owed back support for a very long time. And I had been paying back support for a long time. As of right when COVID, a little bit after COVID happened, maybe a few months ago, I looked up my balance that I owed. It was around $2,700, somewhere in there. So I paid that off. On top of that, I've not always been the person that I am now. So I had a pretty bad criminal record. Not anything too bad, but there was enough on there where I knew that with me starting this business, with me being a lot more profitable, with me doing a lot more things in the financial sector, I needed to have a cleaner record. I needed to have a clean record. Really? That is an Amber Alert. Someone must be missing. Sorry, guys. So, I knew I needed to have a cleaner record, right? So, I hired an attorney, and I had several things on my record from around the time between the time me being 18 and 21. And I'm going to do a video talking about all the things that I had to do to get that done, okay? So I had to, this is after I paid the money for catching everything up, and there was a reason why I did that as well. And we'll go into that. So that was $2,700. I don't know if anyone has ever gone through expunging your record, but there is a lot of money involved, okay? So on top of me hiring the attorney fees, I had to go through, and there were probably about 9 or 10 counts that I had to have expunged. And there were court costs for each one of those cases. And I think they were probably around, they kind of floated between $200 or so each, okay? And all 10 of them had associated court costs, okay? So on top of the amount that the attorney charged me, then I had to pay another couple grand in court costs to pay those off. And then I had to pay another couple grand in fees, okay? So that was that. This is money that I'm spending to start my life completely over, okay? Now, again, I know we guys spoke about my relationship ending. But at the start of the last relationship I was in, I broke my lease so that we could be together. Okay. In so doing, when I broke that lease, I ended up having to pay I had to pay several months' rent in order to break that lease. Okay. And to this day, it embarrasses me that I was dumb enough to do that. Okay. But that was another $3 or $4 grand that I had to spend to break that lease because it was very early. There were several months left on my lease. Okay. So I paid that. Okay. Then, as my daughter, and let me preface this conversation with me saying, this is my belief. I can't for sure accuse anyone of doing any of what I am thinking happened, but it is my belief that this is what I'm going to say is what was what their intention was. Okay. So my daughter is getting ready to leave. Her husband needed a car, so I helped him find a car. Found him a pretty good car. There was work that needed to be done to that car. Okay. So originally for the first repair, I think I gave around $1,300, around $800. Then there was another repair that was about $1,300. Then my daughter's car needed some work. That was another $1,300. And then when they were ready to move, they had to get a truck to go from here to where they were going. That was another $800 or $900. Now, some of that was reimbursed. But I'm saying that because there was, whether it was reimbursed or not, the fact that it was there to be spent is very important. Okay. Shout out to Crazy Cups. Now, as I've just demonstrated, I've spent several $1,000s in the last few months. And on top of all of that, I paid off my car. And then I had to get into this place. Okay. And in order to get into this place, there were fees. So another couple $1,000s to get into this townhome. Okay. Now, up to this point, I still have not heard from my parents. And for a long time, it got to a point where I would just tell people that my parents were dead because it was less trouble to go through why I wasn't communicating with my parents to just say they were dead. And it also helped me deal with the hurt anytime someone would say anything about them or anytime that I would have flashbacks about the time that we were together and speaking. It hurt less for me to just tell people they were dead. Because I would get so depressed about it. There would be times, excuse me, where I would just sit at home by myself and I would be so depressed because I really, really missed the time that I had with them. So it got to a point where I had to just figure a way to get past that because it was really causing a negative effect on my mood. So I just had to wrap my head around them not being here. And the way that I did that was just to say, my parents are dead. They're dead. Okay. So one day, my daughter has gotten off. She's doing her thing. She's doing very well. I'm here at home having my breakfast, my Raisin Bran. That's my morning routine. After I hit the gym, get some Raisin Bran in me. So I get a call from my ex-wife. Now this is the conversation that was a catalyst for me asking this question. I know I've gone a long way around this conversation, but I'm coming back around. Here we go. We on the other end of the sun. We slingshotting back. All right. I got a call from my ex-wife saying, I just want to let you know that your father is in the hospital. Okay. So I said, okay. And she said, I just want to let you know. I didn't know if you knew or not, but I just thought maybe you should know. I said, okay. And then I said, well, since my mother chose to call you and tell you that my father was in the hospital, I think I'll let you and them deal with that. And I left it at that. I didn't say anything else. She said, okay. And I said, okay. Thank you for calling. And I hung up. Right? Now, pause for the cause. Shout out to Crazy Cups. Shout out to Crazy Cups. We're going to pause for a short commercial break. Don't forget about Crazy Cups. I'm going to put a link. Let me put that link in here in the description so you can see these Crazy Cups. Dude, these cups are so dope, especially this Leo, because I'm a Leo. So this Leo cup is crazy dope. But, really nothing beats, for me, the Panther cup. But the Kobe cup is not bad either. Any of you other Lakers fans, Alabama fans, like I said, he can do whatever you want on a cup. It's pretty cool the way he does. I mean, he does them all by hand. So don't forget, check out Crazy Cups. I'm going to put the link here in a minute. What's going on? Let's check out this chat for a second while we're taking a short commercial break. What's going on, Marvin? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, brother. Is that Guac Girl? What's going on, Guac Girl? It's sad, but you know what? We're going to be all right. We are going to be all right. What's going on, Miss Teacher Lady 79? The Drinking Gourd, what's going on? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the chat. And here, guys, is the link to Crazy Cups. If you guys want to order a crazy handmade cup, there is the link. There is the link. All right, so where did we leave off? So, we ready to get back into this thing, guys? We ready to get back into this thing? Judame says, it's a trip. The other day, I got some Amber Alerts for an area 50 miles away, but no weather alert. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. That was kind of crazy. So, as I said, the last thing I said was, okay. And I hung up. Now, I think that was a bit too abrupt of a conversation. And I don't know. Again, this is my speculation. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this whole conversation. There was a bit too abrupt of an ending. So I got a call back a few moments later. And the conversation kind of continued. And I'm going to paraphrase the conversation because I just don't want to get all into it. But she said, I'm sorry that your parents don't speak to you anymore. And as I've grown as a man, there's a lot of times where I choose to not engage a conversation because sometimes a debate is not the right thing. No, Judame, I wasn't saying you were random. I was saying that Amber Alert that I got was random. It just came from nowhere. So I was agreeing with what you were saying. No, you weren't random at all. It came right through. I was like, what? Yeah, I agree with you. It was crazy. But anyway, so a lot of times I choose to not engage people because I find that engaging people sometimes it's just a waste of energy, and I don't like wasting energy. So when she said, I'm sorry your parents don't speak to you and that they treat you that way, my initial reaction was to just ignore it and let it go. But I couldn't. For this particular conversation, I couldn't just let it go. So I had to say, you know what? This situation is a lot of your doing. She said, what do you mean? I said, you are the one who gave them my YouTube channel, and you did it purposefully. Now, we're getting into the JW part more, okay? Just slowly coming back around. But she said, Keith, everybody that you grew up with were Jehovah's Witnesses. Your parents, your friends, everyone that you grew up with were Jehovah's Witnesses. So all the things that you say about Jehovah's Witnesses, it's like you're just attacking us. You're attacking everything about us when you say the things you say about Jehovah's Witnesses. At that point, I said, it got into a conversation about what do XJWs want? And I said, I'd never, ever attack Jehovah's Witnesses. My gripe is not with Jehovah's Witnesses. My gripe is with the organization and the ill effects that the organization causes people who are presently in the organization to perpetuate upon people who have left the organization. That is my gripe, not with an individual Jehovah's Witness. I don't think anyone on this channel can say that they've heard me say anything derogatory to a group of specific Jehovah's Witnesses, except for that elder that I told you guys I hated, because I hate him and I will never stop hating him. So to that dude, yeah, I hate him. I would have said a whole bunch more cuss words. I'm trying to stop cussing. Not easy. But I said, no, I don't attack individual Jehovah's Witnesses. I said, what we as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses want is not to attack anyone. And she said, you have to realize that you said a lot of things about your family, about your parents. And I have said a lot of things that could be perceived as mean about my parents. I have. And when she said that to me, my response was, yeah, I've said a lot of things. But my issue is that they have treated me like shit for many, many years. Why is it that when I call them out on their shitty behavior, I am all of a sudden the asshole? Why is no one calling them as Jehovah's Witnesses out for their assholish behavior? I said, you guys are the ones who go and preach about love and forgiveness and all these things to all these people every Saturday morning. I said, when I was in the organization and my father wasn't, I never treated him any differently. I said, when you and I were still together and Alexis was little, and my mother, who is a Jehovah's Witness then and still is, wanted to have a Christmas tree in her home because the Christmas tree reminded her of her father who had passed away and she missed him. I never judged her. We just didn't go over her house because we were trying to be, Jehovah's Witnesses. But I never judged them. Throughout any of the things that happened that my parents did that as a Jehovah's Witness I was supposed to disagree with, I never judged them. And so what I said to her was, as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, we don't want anything other then the same respect and love that we are willing to give to them from them. I said, I can't expect them to do anything that they disagree with. I can't force them to do anything that they don't agree with. I'm fading, never coming back. Says slow dragging video. Lord have mercy. It took forever to get to the point. Well, I had already said that it was going to be a long story and that there was going to be more to, to say. If, you still here though. You still here, right? But trust me, it's a slow burn. I said, if I were to ask them to do something that was against what they believed, then I would be guilty of the same thing that they are accusing me of. I don't want them to speak to me or take me in or love me because there's an obligation. I want it to happen because it's something that they sincerely want to do. So at that point, she said, you have to accept responsibility for your part in this situation. And I said, I do. But you also have to accept responsibility that you did that purposefully to separate me from my parents. And if you are unable to do that, I can no longer continue this conversation. I can no longer speak to you. Her reply was, now these are I'm speaking about a Jehovah's Witness that shows or is supposed to show love. And she said, well, what do you want me to say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I did with your parents. And in my mind, I'm thinking any apology that starts with the words, what you want me to say, is an insincere apology. So I didn't accept that apology. I said I did. I said, I accept your apology. I wasn't being honest. I honestly really didn't accept that apology. But I was tired of talking and I wanted to get off the phone. So I didn't say anything after that. It got quiet. She said, are you okay? I said, yeah. She said, are you lying? I said, yeah. She said, how's your business going? Mental note. It's going fine. I have work to do. I'm going to get off the phone. Bye. I hung up and I immediately blocked her. Right then, blocked. Okay? Now that's the first part of should you go no contact. Okay? Now, she's blocked. What girl? I don't know. But maybe. So, a few days later, I got a call from my father. Okay, now the original call that I had gotten from my ex-wife was on a Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday is when the call came from her that my father was in the hospital. Now this is a Sunday. Okay, now this is about to start wrapping up. On Sunday, my father says, now this is after me not speaking to him for about 2 years after we had reconnected originally. He says, hey, he left a message because I saw the phone ring and I didn't answer it. Okay. He says, hey, how you doing? I'd really like to see you today. I hope everything is going well. Talk to you later. Now, I listened to that message several times. Now, these are my Jehovah's Witness parents that I haven't spoken to in 2 years who stopped speaking to me because the elders in the congregation told them to cut me off and not to speak to me anymore. Okay? They also told my ex-wife not to speak to me anymore. And they also even told my daughter not to speak to me anymore. Okay? All these people around me have been told not to speak to me anymore. Out of the blue, call from my father. Hey, I'd really like to see you today. Okay? Now, the inner me was so excited to hear my father's voice. So excited. Couldn't believe it. I was like, what the? Where is this coming from? Okay. So I sat on it for a while. I thought about it. I didn't do anything. I just thought about it. So a few days later, I called him back. And I said, hey, Dad, how you doing? And he started, to run down all of his ailments and what's going on with him. And I said, I told you guys I would always be here for you in whatever way you needed help. All you had to do was call me. He said, I know. He said, well, maybe we can get together tomorrow and Friday and talk. This was a Wednesday. This was on a Sunday. I think I'm getting my days mixed up. So, no, this was a Wednesday that I called him back. He said, so Friday, maybe we can get together and talk. I said, okay. I can maybe bring something to eat or something like that. I said, but I've always, I told you I love you guys and I missed you guys. And he said, I love you too, miss you too. I said, all right, I'll talk to you Friday around noon. Okay. Now again, the inner me is so excited, but it's different this time. It's very different this time. Because the first time I was excited too. I was very excited. This time, the excitement was connected with trepidation. Because I thought, yes, I'm excited. I'm speaking to my father. I'm going to see my father. But then the other side of me was like, why the hell is he calling me right now? What is it about this moment in time right now that after this many years, I would get a call saying, I want to see you today? Okay? And I couldn't wrap my head around it. Now, again, what I'm about to say is is what I think. I am not accusing, but this is what I think. So on that Friday, I got a text from my father. Now, every other time up to this day that I had asked my father to dinner when we reconnected originally, he never followed through. I said, hey, I'll come pick you up. We can go to dinner. Hey, I'll come pick you up. We go to lunch. Hey, I'll come bring lunch. Hey, let's get together. There was always a reason why it wouldn't work, why it couldn't work. We never got together. Friday comes. He sends me a text and says, oh, Vanessa. Friday, he sends me a text and says, hey, I just want to let you know you don't have to bring anything, but you can bring me $100,000 if you want to. Ha ha. And this is the moment where things started to come together. This is when things started to really come together. And I'm thinking, what WTF is going on? Someone asked me, hey, Kawhi. Someone asked me, Keith, and I'm saying someone because I don't want to implicate anyone other than myself. So I'm just going to say someone asked me, Kawhi says people always show their true colors when they're joking. Kawhi, you are so right. You are so right. So this person asked me, Keith, does your ex-wife know that you've come into some money? I said, not directly, but she was there when she saw how much money I was spending on Alexis, on my daughter. She saw how much money I was spending on and these weren't credit cards. This was out of pocket cash. This was cash. Bam, 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 bam. And I said, also, when we had to take my daughter's car to get repaired, I drove my car. She followed me in my daughter's car. Then I had to bring her back in my car. And my car, my business has to do with cars and advertising. So she was able to see my business. I showed her my business. So not only was she able to see the amount of money that I was actually spending, she was able to see the potential money going forward with my business. Okay. So this person said, do you think that she spoke to your parents about the way you are now? And I said, I really didn't even think about it like that. And then it came to me. All of that stuff that I've been talking about, all of that was the reason that I had heard from them after not hearing from them for years. Because I'm still not a Jehovah's Witness, and they're still not supposed to talk to me. So what changed? What has happened that all of a sudden now you want to reach out to me? And when I thought about that, and when I came to that conclusion, it hurt. It hurt me so badly to know that these people who refused to speak to me because we didn't share the same religious beliefs, but when it came to some money, when money was involved, and so you have to look at it too, it may not even just be money. It may be that they are legitimately very sick and need my help. But who wants to be reached out to by someone who hasn't felt the need to reach out to you for years, and then only reach out to you only because they need something, and that need that they have is not a need to reconnect with their family? Because if that was the need, that would have happened a long time ago. It could have happened when we originally reconnected. So at that point, it made me so angry that is when I decided to block my parents as well. So I have officially gone no contact with the only three remaining people that were a part of my life as Jehovah's Witnesses. And I don't regret it. It wasn't an easy decision, but it wasn't an easy decision but it was a necessary one. And why did I go through all of that conversation? Why did I say all of that stuff? Well, because sometimes you have to sit back and see what people's true intentions are. Now, had I stuck to my guns, which those guns originally were, for me to never speak to them again, I wouldn't have gone through any of that stuff. I would not have gone through any of that stuff. But after seeing this big picture, because I mean, if we're going to be honest about the organization in itself is a money grabbing conglomerate. As much as they speak about love and all these other things, at the end of it all, it is a money grab. So why would I expect the people who are members of that organization to treat me any differently than they are treated by the people who run the organization? So in as much as I expected a happy ending both times, I don't think that that is what is in the cards. And after the first one, where I was literally crushed after I lost my parents, I was not about to let that shit happen to me again. I was not about to let that happen to me again. And I was not about to let them benefit from the hard work that I've that I've done over the last few years, while I at the same time was upset over losing my parents. You don't get to just treat people like shit and then expect something great to come from that. That's not how it works. So I've gone no contact. I don't know if I'll ever hear from them in any way again, because the only person that they really had to relay messages to me through was my ex-wife. And I don't think they ever even intentionally relayed messages, because they could have just given messages to my aunt. That doesn't really happen. But the point of it all is, now that I've decided to go no contact, and I know that they do not have the ability to reach out to me, that I will probably, likely, really never hear from them. How do I feel about it? And I don't really know. I don't know how I feel about it. But I do know that it's something that will benefit me, because it will give me the time to sort through how I feel about it. And in that way, I think cutting off contact with JWs is a good thing, because it's almost like, well, not almost, it's the same way. If you have a breakup with someone and deep down you still really love that person, right? And you always you hope that there's some chance that you'll hear from them, and they'll say this, oh, she'll call me. She'll call me one day, and then she'll say this, and this, and then we'll get back together and everything will be great again. And then while you're hoping for that woman to say something to come back to you, you're missing out on all these chances to actually meet the person that's actually for you. while you're waiting on this person who's not thinking anything about you. So what do you have to do? You have to go no contact with that woman, or for ladies with that man, so that you can sever your connection with that person, so you can stop thinking about them, stop blocking your own blessing, and move something out of the way so that the real blessing that's for you can come sit next to you. Can't nobody sit next to you if the damn seat's taken. And that's the same way I feel with these JWs in my life. I was constantly saying, maybe I'll hear from them, and maybe they'll say this, and maybe we'll be together again, and maybe things will be like they were. And it never happened. And all I did was keep myself in a position to where I was the one being hurt, and they were not thinking about me at all. At all. I was the one that was always being hurt and wishing and hoping and grabbing for them. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And at some point, I think that once we've tried and tried and tried, that it may be time to just go no contact with these people. And as my aunt always says, to just sit back and watch what happens. So that has been my story for the night. I know it was long. I know it was a lot, but I always have a purpose. I always have a purpose with these stories. They may be long, but they're not just senseless rambling. It meant something. And it meant something. It meant a great deal to me. So I hope that anyone watching was able to draw something from this story. Let me know in the description or in the chat what you think. What has your experience been? Have you had to go no contact? Are you willing to go no contact? Do you think you should even go no contact with these people? Do you think it will help? Do you think it will hurt? What do you think about having continued contact with people still in the organization? Have you found it to be helpful or hurtful? Let me know. Let me know. If anybody wants to reach out to me, you can email me at kfitsmylife@hotmail.com. If you haven't already, please like the video. Even though we're pretty much done at this point, you can still like the video if you haven't already. I do have a Patreon, and now that I have an actual studio, I'll be able to do a whole lot more for that, and there will be a lot more videos that I can put on that. Don't forget about Crazy Cups. You know that's my dude, man. It's one of my best friends in the world. It's like my brother, man. Holler at him. There are links in the description in the chat for his Facebook, for his business. Yeah, man. Let's check out the chat. Guac girl put some explosions in that thing. Okay. Why says people always show their true colors when they're joking. That is so true. Judame says jokes always contain kernels of truth. Judame says with eyes on the new system, why they worried about monies? People get in a jam, the new system seems further away. Miss Desire Independence says it's best to go no contact. I think I agree with that. Miss Desire Independence. So guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will be here, well, not necessarily here, but on the other My EXJW Life channel. If you guys haven't subscribed, and I almost forgot, thank you guys so much. Over the time that I hadn't done anything, I officially hit 10,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. And I don't know if the lady or the person that was my 10,000 subscriber is watching, but they left a note. If you are watching, I'll reply to that message. But if you are watching, make sure you email me, because I want to send you some merch for being my 10,000th subscriber. If not, I'll find you. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting me and this channel. I have a lot more channels that I'm starting now that I have all this stuff that I can work with. But if you haven't subscribed, I'll put a link to the My EXJW Life channel. I think most everyone has subscribed to it. If not, here is the link to that channel. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. There it is. Let me put this in the chat. So if you haven't subscribed to the My EXJW channel, there is the link. All right. Kawhi says, I have really enjoyed your content. Thank you, Kawhi. And I have really enjoyed you being here. I think we have had some really great conversations over the time that I've been doing this exclusive. Just glad you're back. Thank you, exclusive. I am glad to actually be back. I am glad that after all of that madness, I was actually able to improve my situation greatly. And so I am really glad to be back and to be healthy and happy and talking with you guys. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, man. I've missed this so much. So as many times as I'll be ready to go live, I'll put it in the community. And now put an alert there. So I'm going to be doing some more on this channel and on the EXJW Life channel. So all of my chats about the JWs going forward will be on the My EXJW Life channel. I won't do any more JW content on this channel. So please subscribe so that we can still talk about it on that channel. And we will be talking about lots more things here. So don't go anywhere. Stay on this channel as well. All right. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you was here with your boy. And I appreciate it very, very much. I will let you guys know when I plan to be back on live. But yeah, I will see you guys soon, and thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you all on the next one. All right. Peace.